Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to look at some notable Steam news and updates. Bit of an end of an era for Steam. PC Gamer has an article that is more gonna lead to us reminiscing more than anything, but Steam has died its final death on Windows 7 and Windows 8. Now, they ended support about a year ago, but now new updates that Steam is dropping, will not function on older OSs. And, I feel like the title is wild. Will no longer function on the ancient OSs. If I had already not felt like a washed up old man, PC Gamer, thanks for making me feel even more like a washed up old man. But we'll talk about that and some reminiscing. Windows 8 was kind of an atrocity, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I also want to give you guys a heads up on a major free demo that is available on Steam. Not getting a lot of attention right now, but man, I think this is going to be one of the bigger games of early 2025. And another interesting game that's not getting a ton of attention, but has been revealed for a 2025 release. More on that at the end of this video. But yes, updates from Steam are no longer working on Windows 7 or Windows 8. The version of the Steam client will no longer run on Windows 7 or Windows 8. Now, that accompanied the documentation of the November 5th Steam client update. Users on these OS versions will not automatically update to this new version of the Steam client. So it is over. I highly doubt any of you guys are on Windows 7 or definitely not Windows 8. If anybody out there is for whatever reason on Windows 8, y'all need help. Y'all need to find something to give your life some trajectory, because you've been on Windows 8, what are we doing here? But Windows 7 is legitimately one of the most iconic operating systems of all time, maybe the most iconic operating system, and maybe that's also a bit of a point of nostalgia, because when I was getting into PC gaming, like, Windows 7 was it. Like, when everybody loved Windows 7, ain't nobody trying to fit an update to Windows 8. You get, a pre-built computer or a laptop, and it's got Windows 8 already baked into it. You're fairly depressed, but nevertheless, Windows 7 now hitting the back burner, and obviously at this point you should be up to the latest Windows. But there is the argument to be made that, hey, Windows 7, a lot of older titles do play better with Windows 7 than newer operating system, which is great that we do have this GOG game preservation program, because that's the idea of the game preservation program, that these games are going to work for years and years, generation after generation, through new operating systems and through updates and upgrades, so on and so forth. That, from a preservation standpoint, is great. Now, it was back on January 1st. We expect the Steam client and games on these older operating systems to continue running for some time without updates after January 1st, but we are unable to guarantee continued functionality after that date. Now, that was their official statement, Valve's official statement on them ending support for Windows 7 and Windows 8. But again, it is wild to think about, like, Windows 7, when did Windows 7 drop? It's gotta have been like 15 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that. It was, yes, just over 15 years. The general release was October 22nd of 2009. Man, it does not feel that long ago, but, yeah, time flies, and I feel like that's becoming more apparent recently, and, I like to call myself a washed-up old man, but, I still got a little bit of youth left in me. These whippersnappers ain't gonna take me out yet, but definitely just the verbiage on PC Gamer, which, no slight to them, I thought it was more funny than anything, and that was me reflecting on, yes, Windows 7 and 8 are fairly old at this point. And calling Windows 8 ancient, I mean, dude, it's kind of fair at this point. If you're on 15-year-old operating system, that is kind of ancient, but I digress. Steam will no longer be functioning. Updates as far as that's concerned. Moving on from that, a couple of other quick things I want to know. Dynasty Warriors Origins has a free demo available right now on Steam. You guys, I highly recommend you check out Dynasty Warriors Origin. I know Tecmo Koei games typically don't play well on PC, or, a lot of hardware, it doesn't run up to par. But Dynasty Warriors Origins, I think, looks absolutely awesome. And by the way, it's got a very positive reception. 1,730 reviews, and 86% of those reviews are positive. Now, there is quite a lot of people pointing out that there were some performance issues, but hopefully they get some of that ironed out by the time the game releases. The great thing about Dynasty Warriors Origins is it is coming out in a time period where it's before the storm of 8 billion games coming out in February, so I think that is actually going to put this game in a very, very advantageous position where it's coming out, and yeah, you got Freedom Wars Remastered coming out and Tales of Grace's F. Not to put a slight to those games, I am incredibly excited for Freedom Wars Remastered. Those games aren't big budget new releases. Dynasty Warriors Origins, on the other hand, is going to be the first major release after a little bit of a lull in the halfway period of December until the end of December into January, where people, I think, will be itching to play a big new title, and I think Dynasty Warriors Origins is just going to get a lot of inherent attention just based on that. I don't think that was planned. I think they're just locking into that, but also offering a demo, I think everything's coming together for this to be the most successful Dynasty Warriors game ever. Is that too big of a stretch? I really think it has the potential to do that. As far as system requirements go, we already have those outlined as well. Minimum a GTX 1060 or an RX 590, which is interesting because a 580 would be more in line with the 1060. They do note that is 1920 by 1080 and a frame rate of 30 FPS with the graphics quality set to low, and then that is with a Core i5-8400 and a Ryzen 5 2600. Recommended, you're looking at an Intel Core i7 7700K or higher and a Ryzen 7 5700X or higher. 16 gigs of RAM and then an RTX 2070 or better and an AMD RX 5700 XT or better. They do note that's for, once again, 1080p at 60 FPS at high. You know, that's a little interesting at 2070 for only 1080p. So just keep that in mind as far as the requirements go. I feel like recommended requirements these days should be pointing towards higher than 1080p, but given 1080p, the point that is always drawn out is that 1080p is still the predominant resolution used as far as Steam hardware survey goes. However, I feel like that's a little bit misleading of a stat, that hardware survey, or, you know, the data that's available, that's applicable to all Steam users. You have to look at it from the lens of the PC gamers that would be inherently interested in a game like Dynasty Warriors Origins, and I feel like that audience is going to be more wanting of a higher resolution. But that's my 2 cents on that. That free demo is available right now. Check it out. The Musou-style games are always a fairly good time. Over-the-top, fast-paced spectacle fighters with tons of enemies on screen. And this one looks to be the biggest budget one yet. And then lastly, I do want to quickly give a shout to Ratatan, which this is a game coming from the creators of Patapon, a music rhythm title. A lot of charm. Ratatan is a rhythm roguelike action game that combines rhythm games and side-scrolling action with online co-op gameplay supporting up to 4 players. An intense battle unfolds with over 100 characters fighting in a massive melee. Again, Patapon is a game that I played a ton of on the PSP. Super young when I played it, but it was one of those games that was incredibly charming, and I feel like if they can bring the soul of that into Ratatan, and I do believe this was also funded via Kickstarter or had some crowdfunding involved, but that'll be coming 2025. Steam page is up. I'm sure that given the slate of games coming next year, depending on when it comes out, but it could get lost in the shuffle, and it's never going to be one of those games that's just a gigantic release, but have it on your radar. If you're into music rhythm titles, might be one that's interesting to keep up with. But that'll do it for me. Again, a bit of an end of an era as Steam no longer supporting Windows 7 and 8. Dynasty Warriors Origins has a free demo available right now, and Ratatan, a game to add to your wish list. Links to all of the information in the description box below. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.